call, please.
Bill Waltman.
Here.
Chris Anson. Tim Poplin.
Here.
Eddie Foreman.
Here.
John Kramer. Larry Church. Corey Crabtree.
Here.
Trace Connor.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move its approval. Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Bill Waltman.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We have no items removed from the consent agenda. Do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience? We do not, and we'll move on to a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. We will call to order the special meeting of the Seminole Gas Authority. Roll call, please.
Larry Church. Tim Poplin.
Here.
Corey Crabtree.
Here.
Bill Waltman.
Here.
Trace Connor.
Here.
John Kramer. Chris Anson. Eddie Foreman.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move approval. Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Bill Waltman.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
No items removed from the consent agenda. Do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience? All right, with none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? We will call to order the special meeting of the Seminole Utilities Authority. Roll call, please.
John Kramer. Trace Connor.
Here.
Chris Anson. Bill Waltman.
Here.
Corey Crabtree.
Here.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Eddie Foreman.
Here.
Larry Church. Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move its approval.
Second. Roll call, please.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Bill Waltman.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With no items removed from the consent agenda, do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience? If not, we'll move on to approvals and acceptances, current business. Item 1, consideration and possible action to approve the contract for engineering services with Triple Engineering, LLC, for mercury remediation and seal replacement at the wastewater treatment plant for services not to exceed $35,000. This is a non-budgeted item to be funded from Special Revenue Projects, Fund Number 92.
Yes, sir. As we had talked a little bit before, I sent out an email with regard to the presence of mercury at our sewer plant. And it looks as though we've developed a great solution that's much, much less expensive than what we had anticipated. And I think it was just a stroke of the staff being exceptional and also with masterful engineering. I mean, we got it done. So this is just a contract to get the engineering completed and kind of take the next step toward remediation, et cetera, et cetera.
So Steve, help me a little bit in what order are the actions going to take place? I mean, I know they'll do the engineering work and identifying what needs to happen. But will we fix those seals and then remove any mercury that we need to, or will the mercury happen first?
Great question. The first thing that has to happen is we have to make space in our plant for the sludge. So we have, I should have brought a map, but we have drying beds that are kind of the final product. And then in a normal situation, we take those, the drying bed sludge and make a land application. However, we detected some level of mercury in some of that. So what we've decided is, rather than go apply it and land apply it, we've decided that it's much more responsible to take it to a landfill and dispose of it. So that is the plan. Now, once we get the drying beds resolved, we have digesters that are full or near full, and those also have some mercury in the digester. So our plan is to completely clean out the digesters and give us space. It's our opinion, and it kind of backed up with the testing, that we do already have the mercury contamination isolated to the biotowers. So we don't suspect that there's going to be any more filtering through to the digesters or the drying beds. So the immediate thing right now is to get rid of the digesters and the drying beds. The next step for engineering is the remediation of the seals that contain the mercury, and that's kind of the third step. So I hope that answers your question, that's really where we're at. We already have permission from DEQ to get rid of the drying beds. We're moving into the digesters, and we will eventually get to the remediation of the mercury seals.
And then, on the biotowers, if there's any mercury left behind, that would need to be picked up as well, correct?
Yes,
Is
that,
right, biotowers,
I would include that in the remediation statement. We're gonna find and engineer a way around having to use mercury seals. So we're looking at different products, and the engineer obviously is going to be able to navigate how we continue to do what we do with the biotowers with a different type of seal. So, but in doing that, once we replace the seals, obviously we want to do all of the mercury cleanup that needs to be done.
Steve, in your letter, it says, phase 2, you're still getting, bids or whatever on phase 2, or this includes part of phase 2?
I'm gonna ask Brian to kind of give us a status of the bids, and he's working closely with Gary Kinder, our engineer, on the timing of when the bids are coming in, and when we're gonna be doing the actual disposal.
So y'all be coming back to us for some more about this first line?
Yes, as I mentioned, there'll be different phases. Brian has all the dates.
So phase 1 with engineering.
Got it on.
Back there you go.
Okay, so phase 1 of the engineering is what we completed with the engineer the first time to help us remediate, isolate where our mercury issue was, to create a plan that we could present that to DEQ for their approval, what needed to be tested, what areas of our plant needed to be tested, and make sure that the mercury was not what we call the effluent side coming out into the creek, which it is not. So we've got it remediated, we've got it isolated where it needs to be. That was phase 1. Now we're moving into phase 2. How do we take care of, as Steve said, how do we take care of the sludge that we have now? Can we get it off the pad? Can we move to the next phase? So that's kind of, we're into phase 2 right now. Date-wise, as far as bids, we are waiting on our engineer now to create a master plan for us. That's what this phase will help us get to that point of a master plan. what do we need to bid out? It'll outline our timeframes that we need to do that. We'll also get that okay through BEQ, which so far, we've been ahead of the game. Thanks to you guys allowing us to get to in front of this, allowed us to get a quicker response and a quicker thumbs up and approval from BEQ. They came in about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. We had a large meeting. Our answers are, we answered every question they had before they got here. So kudos to the council. Thank you guys for allowing us to do that. They were pleased whenever they left the steps that we had already taken and the steps that we'd already taken into phase 2, which is what we're starting now. I hope that answered your question.
Still have this on. Okay.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call, please, Jack.
Trace Connor,
Yes.
Bill Waltman,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Eddie Foreman,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 2, consideration and possible action to approve the match funding of $5,000 for a sanitary sewer overflow prevention grant from the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group, also known as OMAG, in the amount of $5,000 for treating up to 7,200 feet, 6-inch and 8-inch sewer lines for root control. The non-budgeted match is to be funded from special revenue projects, fund number 92.
So OMAG, which is the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group, and OML, Oklahoma Municipal League, have developed a program with a company that does, I'm gonna call it a layman's term, swabbing of inside of pipes that keep roots from infiltrating. So, they love the program, they've gotten a grant, and we're asked to match that grant. We're gonna spend $5,000 of our money, they're gonna spend $5,000 of their money, and we're gonna go do a mile and a half, essentially, swabbing of these lines, and particularly riddled areas of our community. So I felt like this was a pretty good investment, especially in light of some of the infiltration that we're getting in the root systems in some of our areas. So I would encourage us to pass this.
You got a specific part of the city that you're aimed at first?
Depending on when the money is released, yes. Curtis and his line repair crew already have some targeted areas that they want to approach. And so the answer is yes, we know where we're going.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trace Connor,
Yes.
Bill Waltman,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Eddie Foreman,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, then we'll move on to the special meeting of the Seminole City Council. Roll call, please, Jim.
Tim Poplin,
Here.
Corey Crabtree,
Here.
Larry Church, Trace Connor,
Here.
Chris Anson, Eddie Foreman,
Here.
Bill Waltman,
Here.
John Kramer, Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Common would accept our prayer of thanks for the city of Seminole and for all our people. Let us love one another, for you, God, are love. Amen.
Remarks and inquiries of mayor and city council members. Mine's pretty brief. I just want to encourage everyone to wear the mask. You know, the numbers have skyrocketed, they continue to grow. We all, I think, have been touched by someone either being very ill or passing. And I was in a community this past weekend, and it is a mandate that they have to wear masks going in any store, any amusement facility, anywhere. And for the most part, everybody was wearing masks. They seemed like they didn't like it too much. If we can help others, you know, this is just a little bit of effort to be able to help others. And, you know, if we knew we were ill and we stayed home, no problem. But with this COVID-19, you don't know that you may be contagious to others. So I would just like to encourage everyone to mask up for your fellow citizens and those who live around. With that, I'll move on to Ward 1, Bill Walker.
Well, the second, what you just said, that's extremely important. We've seen how this pandemic has grown. I can assure you, talking with medical authorities, it's going to get a lot worse the rest of this month, January. We're going to be looking, I think, by the time we get to February, at something like 400,000 deaths in the United States.
Ward 2, Eddie Gorman.
Other than agreeing with authority said, that's all I have to say, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ward 3, Corey Becker. Ward 3, Tim Pop.
I have nothing, thank you.
Ward 4, Tracy Scott. All right, thank you. With that, we'll move on to consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move its approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Cory Crabtree.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Bill Walton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With no items removed from consent agenda, do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience? All right, with none, we'll move on to resolutions. Item 1, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2020-15, a resolution authorizing the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group, OMAG, to distribute escrow funds in the amount of $25,667.04 as a credit toward workers' compensation policy premiums. That's always good.
Move to approval, I see. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Cory Crabtree.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Bill Walton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under current business, item 2, consideration and possible action to approve to surplus as junk 7 items at the Seminole Police Department, including a 2009 Ford F-150, a 2011 Chevy Impala, and 5 Ford CVPIs from 2006 through 2011. And in the list that listed them, there were, I think, 3 that had engines that were maybe some you're going to elaborate on, if you'd like. But there were 3 that had engine problems and others had transmission accidents. So there's various stages of
Yes, we have, for the most part, we have worn out equipment that happens. We're pretty good at doing our maintenance, et cetera, but we got to the point where these are just not even salvageable with an auction. Most of these are going to have to go across the scales to be reclaimed. Bryant jokes with our police chief that these are all wrecked police cars, but that's not actually all the trucks. So we're ready to go to take them across the scales and get what we can out of them.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please. Tim Coughlin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Bill Walton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 3, consideration and possible action to approve participation in the construction of the Seminole State Educational Foundation's baseball facility near the new high school by agreeing to the city's forfeiture to the foundation of $75,000 in proceeds from the sale of property donated by the Parks family.
This is something I think we had tabled months ago. Just wanted to bring it back to you. As you can see by driving by the new high school, all of the construction going on the west side is for the new baseball facility. It's going to be a combination of the stadium for the Seminole State, some soccer fields, and some, I call them Little League baseball. In the past, and I'm talking, I don't know, probably 5 years ago at least, the city council was approached about participating in a baseball complex. We were told that it would locate up behind Manual Fellowship, where Tim Tate preaches. That location has moved several times over 5 years. Back then, the city council had said, look, we'll participate. We have some money here. We'll put $300,000 in it, and we'll do some grubbing or minor bulldozer work. Quite clearly, things have changed since 5 years ago, and no city council can obligate the next city council. So that talk has kind of subsided, but that did leave a hole in the funding for the new baseball facility. So the foundation that is constructing the baseball facility has come back and said, look, we would like for you to forego the money that you had coming to you through the donation that the Parks family made. And to give you the background on that, the Roger and Pam Parks family had donated to the foundation, to the Seminole State Foundation, their plant in Chakota that they vacated when they moved to Seminole. That plant, and this was in the agreement, once that plant was liquidated, the foundation got the majority of the money, but there was also an allocation for thermal heat and air at the new high school. They didn't use that for the new high school. There was some money, $75,000 is what it ended up being, to the city for the purpose of a swimming pool. So if we forego the $75,000, that will go toward the baseball facility instead of the city swimming pool.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Steve, you just mentioned 75,000, correct? Or 25? It says 25,667 on this.
We're on number 3.
Oh, okay, my bad. Withdraw the question.
Move this approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jim.
Tim Coughlin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Bill Walton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Your reports, city manager, Steve.
So, as everyone's probably aware, we were slated to talk about the mask ordinance this evening. We removed that so that we could be extra clear and transparent with the public. We're not trying to dodge the discussion by having it at a time that not everyone can be here. So our staff will be approaching you guys about having a special meeting to see if you want to put this off the the discussion on the mask ordinance off till January. We may not have it at all, but we will be calling and trying to figure out a time and date that works for everyone to have the mask ordinance discussion. Just give you a quick status on the COVID and its impact upon your staff. I think we've got 5 cases among our 77 employees. We've got at least another 5 that have recovered. We've got, well, we're limping through. That's probably the best way to say it. We've got some issues at the police department. John's done a great job, and he's even working shifts. I appreciate that from everybody. Everybody's, we're filling the holes. We're doing the best we can, but there will be a point where it gets so severe that services will be absolutely impacted. So I just want to throw that out to you. On a brighter note, we've got a beautiful new paint job on our water tower out here. They're stenciling in the city of Seminole on it right now, and it looks great, much better. We'll be moving them from that A Street job to Orange Boulevard, and we've already had some input from citizens around that. They're excited to see the rust go away from the Bourne Boulevard tab, so that's really good news. You may have received a notification this morning about the 2nd Street water line. Our line replacement crew has been doing a fantastic job. They've run into some rock and other things that were unexpected. They've done an excellent job of replacing, I don't know, what do you think, 7 blocks or so, 6 or 7 blocks of old water line. And on your next agenda, we're going to set aside some time to talk about that line replacement crew and the impact that it's making. So kudos to your crew and to you. Great job. The airport fuel. We are now able to flow fuel at the airport thanks to Sharon, Emmett, and Sean, and Baker. It's been a team effort, and it has been pretty complex, but we got there, and we are now flowing fuel at the airport. We're selling it a little above what it costs just to generate traffic, and we are underway with the search for a new fixed-based operator. I think the date is December 15th. We'll open the proposals from the prospective fixed-based operators. So there is, you guys have approved some of the improvements out there at the airport. It's, man, you can't believe how much dirt they have moved. I mean, it is huge. It's a mini mountain. I've got a new place to go snowboarding. So if any of you want to go out there and take a look, I'd love to drive you out there and kind of show it off. It looks fantastic. And this project, just to back up a little bit, is for the new hangars that will eventually be constructed on the north end of the airport facility. So that looks great. Matt, I want to thank you and your staff and Mike and everyone for making this happen. I know it has not been easy to help us through the COVID, but man, thank you for making this available, and I appreciate your leadership and everything you're doing. So great job. Just want to encourage everyone as we get into the holiday season, just be compassionate, be compassionate, be kind to one another and to people that you don't know. This is a beautiful time to exercise that. Lastly, I want to remind everyone that election filing for city council seats is open, and if you've not been over to the courthouse, check in on it. And whoever filed for Bill, that's a great idea. I don't know if it'll astute, but, all right, that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. I will assume you're not gonna be speaking for our city attorney.
No.